Those who know me well enough know that I can't stand the Dallas Cowboys, so fans of Dem Boyz better cherish this one. We're going to take the 2003 Cowboys roster in Madden 2004, and we're going to do something the Cowboys have not done since the 90s. Win a Super Bowl. I almost puked. Anyway, this was a time where Dallas had a choice between Chad Hutchinson and Quincy Carter as their signal caller. Gross. Troy Hambrick was the running back. He's slow, but he's okay. Richie Anderson, a solid veteran fullback. The wide receiving core of Joey Galloway, Terry Glenn, and Antonio Bryant. I like the group, but I doubt Galloway and Glenn will be here when the team is ready to win. Dan Campbell is ready to bite off some kneecaps before his head coaching gig, but rookie Jason Witten is going to start for us. Offensive line is decent with some room to grow. Flozell Adams, Larry Allen, and Ryan Young are solid anchors to it. Greg Ellis is very good at left end. Ebenezer Ecubon is serviceable at right end, and Leroy Glover up the middle is scary. Linebackers are sort of weak with Singleton aging and not really being great. That when with limited time for him to grow into a very good player, and Dexter Coakley is on the wrong side of 30. Gosh, Mackey might just be the future. In all seriousness, the corner room is nice with Derek Ross and Terrence Newman growing together and young yet. Pair them with a safety duo of Roy Williams and Darren Woodson. The backfield could be nasty. Should be a solid defense in the coming years, but the offense is gonna worry me. Season number 1 starts off by hosting Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons, and it's a 17-24 loss with Darren Woodson's 22-yard pick six starting our scoring for the season. Hutchinson was fine, but Michael Vick ran 10 times for 154 yards and a touchdown on our defense as the Falcon run game ate us up. Next was a trip to the Meadowlands to get handed a 13-21 loss. We started the day with Hutchinson getting a touchdown pass, but Tiki Barber and Kerry Collins got the better of our defense when they needed to. After an early bye, it was back to the Meadowlands in Week 4 to take on the Jets, who are better than us, and they show it with a 31-17 victory. Chad Pennington and Lamont Jordan dominated us while we play all three of our quarterbacks. Yikes. Hosting the Cardinals with the number 11 offense in the league, and we held them to 6 points. A win, 20-6. Witten with a TD catch. Hutchinson going off for over 300 yards and 2 tutties, while Terry Glenn goes well over 100 yards, with one of those touchdowns thrown his way. Big win headed into the trade deadline where we are a bottom 6 team. What moves can we make? Our first deal's trading our third cornerback Edwards, who is getting up there in age and doesn't fit our plans, with an expiring deal. We sent him to Arizona for a second and third round pick. Cromartie just made the rosters work out. He's a 53 overall. Next trade was a pain to make, but Hambrick isn't in our future, and he and a 7th got sent to Washington for really just their 3rd and 4th round picks. Grant just made this trade work. He won't be re-signed. Had to move some picks for our next deal, so 2 4ths and a 5th go to Houston for their 3rd rounder. And our next trade that we were trying to make is Joey Galloway going to the Ravens for their 1st round and 4th round picks. We add Arnold to make the rosters work. It's going to give us a $1.88 million cap penalty hit, but I'm willing to sell high on Galloway to tank this year. Because of the Hambrick trade, we needed a running back, so Josh Scobie, return man extraordinaire, was signed. After the trades, we got drilled by Philadelphia at home, 38-10. Without Galloway, I was hoping Bryant would get more looks. The touchdown in the summary gave me hope, but he had 2 catches for 5 yards. That's not great. A winnable game in Detroit amounts to a 21-20 win. Witten with another touchdown grab to set the tone in the game. Terry Glenn also scored, and one of those patented Darren Woodson pick sixes to top it off in the 4th. 119 yards from Antonio Bryant is encouraging. The Bucs, by all means, should kill us, and no shock here, 31-12, with Brad Johnson doing whatever he wanted against our defense. Hutchinson did not play poorly, though, and that's a good sign. Then it was a battle of 2-6 teams at home versus Washington, where we got literally field goaled to death by Bob Barker. Okay, Brian Barker, in a 14-21 loss. Would have been cooler if it was Bob Barker. At this point, let's not mess up the tank. and we don't, losing at home against the Bills 13-30, where they avenged those nasty Super Bowl losses in some small way, I guess. Next up, Brady and the Pats in Foxborough. We have opposite records at 2-7 and 7-2, and it stays that way with a 17-22 loss. Close game, though. Glad to see the team putting up a fight while still aiming for that top pick. Our offense and defense both rank 31st. That's music to my ears draft-wise, and we keep it going with a home loss to Carolina, 13-16 in overtime. Made me sweat a little bit there, but thankfully Rodney Peete was able to make the comeback. Miami's defense rolls into Dallas and holds us to just 10 points in a 10-22 loss. Keeping hopes alive, keep them fingers crossed, fins up, baby. With only one home game left, the going should get even tougher, and Philadelphia beat us down again, though not as bad as the first time, with a 7-20 win. But no McNabb in that game, though. It was Coy Detmer, of all people, who dotted us up. And it was Washington on the road, and Lavernius Coles single-handedly won that game with 2 tubbies as we go down 3-17. Our final home game was against the Giants, and we win it 24-7. What? Our biggest blowout of the year. Our defense forced Kerry Collins into 3 picks, and he didn't have Tiki Barber to bail him out in this game. Oh no. Does that ruin the tank for us? It does. No, if we had lost, we'd be the only 2-win team right now, but right now, the Cardinals, who we beat, and the Texans are beating us out. Darn. Last game of the season should be an easy Saints win, and oh my goodness, it took overtime. Thankfully, the Saints made the comeback, or we would be so screwed. Nice to see Dan Campbell get a touchdown pass to end his season, though. Bite those kneecaps, baby. Patriots barely squeak by the Raiders on the road in the AFC title game. In the NFC title game, it's the Falcons over the Packers by 10. Can Michael Vick get a ring over the #1 defense and future GOAT Tom Brady? Yes, he can. The Falcons won with Vick throwing for just 68 yards, but 2 touchdowns, and he did run for 81 on 8 carries, with Warrick Dunn going for near 100. Wild! I like this timeline already. We are changing history, baby. Get that Brady guy out of here. Woohoo! We made $18 million by only winning 3 games because, well, we Dem Boyz, America's team, baby. That also means we get to upcharge for literally everything next year, raise them prices. Oh, and by the way, sorry Dallas fans, but we're changing the stadium name. We need a sponsor because more money. I'm firing our training staff, Health Source, who sucks, and bringing in Elite Health Co., who is really good. That's what money can buy. A new special teams coordinator is needed, and we're going to go with Mike Westhoff. Simple part over. Retirements. We lose tight end McGee. Good riddance. Unfortunate news as 31-year-old linebacker Kevin Hardy suffered a career-ending injury after just 8 seasons. There's not a ton I want back on this team in re-signings, but we bring back running back Wiley, center Lear, and defensive tackle Myers back on cuttable or tradable deals, and then we bring back 25-year-old linebacker Marcus Steele on a 2-year deal. Woody Dantzler was a quality return man, so we brought him back at free safety for another season, and kicker Billy Cundiff is so young, why not lock him up as he tries to progress, hopefully does it well, to a 5-year deal. Some rookie scouting time, and the top 2 quarterbacks available are Martin Odom and Scott Koenig. Hard to ignore the amazing arm strength and amazing accuracy of Koenig. On defense, I really like Eric Richardson, who could be a speed rushing demon on the defensive front opposite Ellis. On the line, I like getting a bona fide starting center in Chucky Lambert, who looks like he could be an incredible piece to an already gelling line. But a franchise signal caller is another thing we'd love to build around in Dallas, and we might have the picks to get that done. With the 3rd and 15th overall selections, 2 high second rounders, 3 high third rounders, if we can come away with 2 to 4 starters in this draft, we'll be well on our way. Who is your favorite prospect of this bunch? And are you down to actually bring them boys back instead of talking about it for 25 years? Let's do this.